Hey friends, it's Laura. Welcome to my channel. Today I am creating a traditional scrapbooking layout of my engagement present, and I am so excited about this layout. I'm so excited about this day. This was a huge occasion 2 years ago, and I scrapbooked it shortly after it had happened, but I'm just now getting around to editing and sharing the video. I had an idea for this page where I would do a really big title, and I wanted it to be like a DIY title where I made it really feminine and girly and just absorbing all of my vibes from the day, from what I was wearing, from me holding the kitten, all of the good things. And so I grab out one of my big alphabet sticker sets and I put my title down on the page, and I am kicking myself now because I spelled surprise wrong. I don't know how I managed to do that, but I totally left out the first R in surprise. And so now it says surprise. And I guess that's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world, but there are a few things that happen on this layout that make me think I might want to recreate it or remake it. And this is one of those things. I spelled the title wrong. And because it's so big, it's like glaringly obvious to me later looking back at it. So it bothers me, but for now, I'm just going with it. As you can see, I do not notice when I'm making the layout at all. So my idea was to create these gorgeous large letters that say surprise exclamation point and use up a ton of my floral ephemera and die cuts on this. I have been on a mission the past few years to scrap my stash, use up the stuff I have in my scrap room before purchasing anything else. And I've got a bunch of floral die cuts because I love flowers, but I find some of them really hard to use. In particular, Paige Evans, which you can see I have in my hands here, and I audition a few of them out. I find them really hard to use. So I really tend to gravitate more towards Maggie Home stuff. So you can see as I'm starting to lay down different die cuts on these letters, trying to use up some of those ones that I wouldn't naturally gravitate towards, but I end up kind of shifting that and going back to my tried and true Maggie Home stuff as my baseline for these letters. But so far, I think everything is looking really cute. I do realize, though, that I'm not going to be able to do this directly on the layout. I need to cut out all of these letters, and then I can start gluing the flowers onto the different letters that I have, because I will need to trim off all of the excess from where all of the flower die cuts go over the edges of the letter. So what I'm doing now is just erasing the pencil marks for all of my letters, and then I am going to, I think, cut them out, or I might start with the Maggie Holmes floral stickers. Kind of flipping through my planner sticker book there, which has a lot of Maggie Holmes florals in it, and laying down some of those. Nope, I don't. Okay. Yes, I'm going to cut them out first. I realized I just needed to cut these letters out. It was going to make everything so much easier when I needed to trim off all the excess. So I am cutting everything out. Still don't notice that I spelled the title wrong. Yeah, it's tragedy. It really is. It's like a small tragedy. It's not a huge tragedy, but it's really disappointing to have put all that time into doing something and then realize 2 years later, it's totally wrong in a very obvious way. But I don't know. It wasn't obvious to me at the time, so maybe it won't be obvious to other people. Nobody else really looks through my scrapbooks anyway, so maybe that'll just be a thing for future generations if I have any. Maybe my kids will look at that and be like, mom didn't know how to spell, which would be accurate. I am not great at spelling. That is not my strong suit at all. So yeah, definitely cut those letters out. And now I am laying down all the Maggie Holmes floral stickers. As you can see, I feel like I need to add at least one pink Maggie Holmes flower sticker to every single letter because that is just my jam. And you can see that takes it in a totally different direction than those other floral die cuts I was using down on the page. Like the other floral die cuts, and this is probably why I have such a hard or difficult time using them, like the Paige Evan ones, they're really youthful and playful. And my style tends to be a lot more romantic and feminine, which is a lot more grown up-ish, I guess, from my perspective anyway. So yeah, definitely loving the direction these are going now that I'm using the Maggie Holmes florals. Of course, I do not have enough Maggie Holmes flower stickers and die cuts for this because they are my favorite. So I tend to use them a lot. I don't really have any Maggie Holmes die cuts, maybe a couple here or there, but I tend to use them as soon as I get them. So now I need to fill in all of the empty spaces on these letters with all of my other floral die cuts from different brands. And I'm going to spend some time doing that. I audition several pieces out. If you've never heard that phrase before, auditioning, I know there are several people in the scrappy world that use that term. It's just where you put different things down on your page and see if you like it, and then you change them out for other things. And it's just this game of like trading and changing, seeing if you do or don't like something, and you audition pieces until you find the right one, the one that just feels good to be in that location. So that's what I'm doing with all of these different die cuts here and gluing most of them down because most of them are die cuts, not stickers. And I think you'll see like this title really does require a lot of flowers to fill it all up. It will require even more if somehow I go back and recreate this layout and add the second R, which I would really like to do. So yeah, using up lots and lots of things here, which always makes me feel so good about a layout and about my crafty time to be using stuff out of my stash. And as you can see, I've got those gorgeous letters all completed there finally. And I love how they look. They are so fun and gorgeous. And I think they are just super feminine and girly and all the good stuff that I love. And so I am kind of playing around with some different potential layouts with my title and my photograph on my page here. I do end up kind of switching it around, playing with different locations for the photo and title. So I am creating a photo mat for my photos now. I use some white cardstock and then I'm using some light pink parchment paper. And I think that looks really great and just makes this photograph pop. And I'm going to try out all these different ephemera and die cut pieces, again, wanting to use stuff from my stash and use up lots and lots of things. So let me tell you a little bit about the engagement. The engagement happened when my husband and I had been dating a little bit more than 7 years. And I had always told him that my perfect engagement would be like if I were at home relaxing and he just brought me a kitten. And I would be so happy about the kitten that I wouldn't even notice until like 5 minutes later that there was an engagement ring on its collar. That was my dream proposal for so long. And I told him this like 2 years into our relationship. He proposed after year 7, like right after our 7th anniversary. And yes, it was not at home. It ended up being at the location of our first date because my husband is extremely traditional. And so proposing where we had our first date just seemed like very obvious to him. And so he proposed at this gorgeous park where we had our first date. We went on a really romantic picnic. There was like a guitar player serenading us that just happened to be there. Like it wasn't planned or anything. But yeah, just a retired man playing guitar really romantically. And we were under some weeping willows and had a gorgeous picnic. It was amazing. It was a great first date. And yeah, so he proposed there, and there was a picnic blanket laid out and my favorite flowers, which are peonies. He had a huge bouquet of those that my sister-in-law helped him make. And my sister-in-law was also there taking photographs and video of the engagement. The whole thing was just amazing. And there was a picnic basket there. And after he proposed, I said yes. I did not realize he alluded to there being a cat in the engagement speech that he gave me when he proposed. Like, I thought he was talking about our cat Oreo, which, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that Oreo passed away back in 2019, I think, 2018. So we had him for 14 years and took care of him when he got kidney disease for 8 months before he passed away from the terminal illness. And, yeah, so when he alluded in his speech to like loving me even though we had cats, because that's always been a thing for him. He does not want cats. He does not like cats. Like he's got this weird macho thing going on where he's like, no, cats are gross. And I adore cats. I've always had cats my whole life. And I've told him that, like, I love cats. They're just a thing for me. And yeah, so when he alluded to that, I thought he was talking about the cat we had and that we lost, because he really did become Oreo's dad in the 5 years we were together. Before Oreo passed away, like, Oreo had him well trained, eating steak out of his hand, and yeah, had a very, very happy life because my fiance, well, he's now my husband, but he was really good to Oreo. So anyway, after I said yes, he was like, so are you going to go get your cat? And I was like, what? And in the picnic basket was this little kitten, which you can see in the photograph, in my arms. And I left a fun part in this video. Hopefully you noticed that, where that same kitten, who is now a big cat, climbed up onto my desk and kind of hung out with me and laid on the middle of my layout while I was making this. And yeah, just creating some different embellishment clusters here, adding all kinds of things to my page. Editing this video, this is the time when I start kind of clenching my jaw, like, oh no, why are you doing that? I'm just going crazy. I'm adding everything to this page, every die cut I can use, every sticker I can use, really wanting to scrap my stash, adding all the things everywhere, and it ends up so busy. Like, this is such a busy page. I think if I had just left it off where the pink hearts are scattered around the page, that would have been fine. But no, I'm adding all these phrase stickers and everywhere. Like, I've got phrase stickers everywhere. I add black heart stickers everywhere. It just gets really cluttered really fast, and it's all way, way too much looking back at it. So I think I would love to recreate this layout, make it a little bit simpler, take away those black heart stickers. That was just one step too many. Maybe fix the spelling on my title. Yeah, it's gorgeous, but I think it just has way too much going on in the end for me, and it's a lot. So this is what the page looks like, and a fun, tiny story of our engagement there, and a fun tidbit of the engagement story is that I said yes, not realizing that my husband had a kitten for me. So he can never hold that against me, because I was so surprised when he told me afterwards, like, hey, are you going to go get your cat? It was very obvious, like, I had missed the part where I was getting a cat. And it made my whole world. I was so happy and joyous and thankful, and it was magical. But I always tell my husband, like, hey, at least you know I didn't say yes because you had a cat. I said yes before I realized there was a cat. So he can never doubt my love for him. So here are all the details of the page up close. You can see I ended up gluing down those big title letters on some pink parchment paper, and I cut a very thin border around them, and I think that makes them stand up off of the page even more. I really do like that surprise sticker that I put overlapping the surprise title with the giant letters, and oh my gosh, their surprised is spelled correctly, and yet somehow when I put that down on my page, I still did not realize that my title did not match that sticker. So yeah, this is what it looks like. I think it's really fun, but way too much going on. I hope you've enjoyed this scrappy time with me and some fun stories from the engagement and enjoyed this creative layout. I really like the title idea. I thought that was unique. It used up so many things from my stash. And yeah, I hope you're feeling inspired, encouraged, and absolutely wonderful today. Make sure to make time for your scrappy happy. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for watching.